Hey!
Hello.
Hello, how y'all doing this evening? Welcome to Word on the Curb and Brandi Jenae.
That's right. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Okay, we're gonna get this thing set off. We want to talk about Real Housewives of the Potomac first.
Yeah, let's talk about Real Housewives of Potomac first.
Okay.
Now,
Now,
reunion part two. Part two.
yes, part two. And look, I done wrote down some notes.
Go ahead, go ahead. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did.
Okay, so we start out with Mia crying.
Spoiler alert, we leave with her crying too, right? But
Exactly. I'm like, I don't know. Mia's so fake and phony.
she definitely is. And I'm not here for the tears.
No.
And it's not on no I know we had a thing about not being too strong and, being able to show your emotions and encouraging that. But like you say, Mia is so fake and phony where you can't really believe where she's at when it's coming. And so it feels always like a tactic, you know. In the
Mm-hmm.
previous episode or previous review, when we were back on their trip, she had that whole meltdown about Gordon taking the kids,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And when and I said it then, and the same still remains. It was like when she was in there, I told her, Zara, I said, I think that was phony, fake. Nope,
Yeah.
I didn't believe her, not one bit. And of course, at the end of that trip, she was headed to Atlanta. So, yeah. So we come back with Mia crying because she can't, it's too hot in the kitchen. She can't take the heat that she brought on herself, because everything that's coming to her, we didn't ask for that. You gave
No,
it to her.
she sure did. That's what they said. Mia be lying.
And
and
she
then,
gives us everyone.
looks Andy's in there kind of, like give her a little pep talk or something. So when he finally make it back out to the stage, then he's talking with Giselle
Mm-hmm.
and asks her, about being an empty nester and about Jamal Bryant's wedding. About
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see any pictures from his wedding, or either I didn't pay
Oh, I
attention.
saw some pictures. So
Well,
okay, what it was is that Jamal Bryant had on he had on Hunter Green, first of all, that was the color. And
okay,
his wife had on pink. She's a AKA. I
okay,
believe that the green and pink was a ode to that. That's
okay.
I didn't think Wicked. It's funny that they came up with that, and I'm sure that people didn't appreciate it. But he can deal with other stuff today, so I'm guessing he don't care. However, it was he had Jamal Bryant, it was over the top. So it was like a blinged out, Hunter Green, top, and maybe did he have ruffles coming out? Maybe I think like
Because
I
I
think
mean,
throwing
I
that on. And then she had this, and actually, I liked her outfit. So it was funny that same when they would talk about Giselle sometimes. There's some stuff Giselle had for the reunions I didn't like. However, generally, when people talk about her not knowing how to dress, I never really found anything wrong with the things she wore. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I thought to myself, like, well, damn, can I not dress? Because I didn't necessarily. So same with that. Like, I didn't necessarily see a whole lot wrong with what they had. It was over the top. If, in my opinion, I guess it fit to their personality. But back to her outfit, it was a pantsuit, but it was all beaded with some bling. And like I said, pink, and I think the beads, pearls. So again, I do believe it was a ode to her sorority, as
Okay.
opposed to, but way to be shady, bravo, because
Yes. I'm like,
Damn.
I haven't seen Wicked before, so I don't even know the first thing
And then
about.
here come Ashley talking about I don't even know because I haven't seen Wicked either. I plan on watching it when it comes on Peacock, but that'll be my first time watching it, and so I don't know the characters. So I'm about to say, here come Ashley referring to the man as the lady Cynthia's character, the green,
Oh, okay,
because that's Wicked. That's their color scheme, green and pink.
okay.
That's where they was going with that.
Oh, because I was so lost. I
And
was like, okay.
Giselle know better because she's an AKA also.
Oh,
So
okay.
it seemed like she should have picked up on that and should have probably mentioned that. But Giselle she still got that mean girl in her. But but I gotta give it to her this season. I didn't agree with her more this season than I ever have.
Okay, so then they asked about her relationship with the guy from the speed dating.
We can, hey, we can skip past that. I found it interesting that Giselle kind of started dating the guy after they wrapped.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I thought was interesting. It kind of is one of them things that you end up seeing. They let little stuff slide under the radar, and when I say they, I mean like the producers and things, because Andy seems to have. I would use the word punish or have some type of retribution when these ladies don't share certain things.
Uh-huh.
And especially when they finish rapping something.
Yeah.
However, being kind of random and everything, I think I don't know, like I don't know how to see it, but like I say, I found it interesting that y'all pick back up after you wrap filming.
Oh, okay. Then they go over to he asked Ashley about the boyfriend. And
Now,
she
what you
said they
think
went
about? What you think about her saying? Um, he was upset about what Wendy had to say.
because she said it was a lateral move. Well, I'm pretty sure he's probably not as well off as the older guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I mean, maybe because I guess she was being shaded. It's being shady, and I'm like, his friends watch the show.
I don't know. I felt like it felt like a reach.
Yeah. Then
I like a
then
reach.
they're back and forth with each other. This and that. So what do you think about when Wendy said that she brought up the what the blogger had said on the show?
Well, it's funny. I laughed at Andy's reaction more than anything because I think I had the same type of reaction he did. Which, as soon as she kind of, kept pressing it, he's like, "That's the father of my children, my husband." He said, "Ah, okay, let's, like we're gonna move on." I had that same. I felt that same thing, and so I laughed because I feel like I knew how he was feeling in that moment, which
Uh-huh.
is I get kind of frustrated when it's I can't remember which comedian used this term, but it's like selective outrage.
Okay.
And so it kind of irritates me when I see people do that, right?
Dave
You know,
Chappelle, wasn't it?
huh?
Was it Dave Chappelle? No, Chris Rock.
I thought it was Chris Rock. Okay, I thought it was Chris Rock, but I was thinking one or the other. It's one or the other. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that bothers me too, because here's the thing. Maybe you shouldn't say it about a person at all. Like maybe you shouldn't take it upon yourself to poke fun in any type of way, to somebody that you don't know. The end, hard stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and it doesn't matter if that's your husband and the father of your children. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know that the offense is any worse or better or different because that happens to be your husband. and she, said what she said. Now, are we, is the scale not level about what we're talking about? No. But at the same time, it's Ashley. Like I said, I feel like it was BS. I feel like I would like to see Wendy in these, especially now. It irritated me with Wendy to go there. Because it was like, you're always the smartest in the room at the table, but yet you go into these little stupid arguments like this. You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't worth having it. And again, like I think I'm kind of, giving Wendy a little slap on the wrist too, because it's like one can't be outdo the other. Then if you don't want to say nothing about yours, don't say nothing about whoever it is she bring around. Like
exactly. Yes. And
it's
so
go ahead.
So then we got Stacy. He goes to her, and she says she's not with TJ anymore. She didn't watching how he treated her at that party was hard to watch. Her family, this, blah, 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 blah. And he also asked. He said she's divorced, and they did ask her about even though they didn't have, when her and TJ were together, if they hadn't really had sex, did they do other things?
Mm-hmm.
And then they one of the fans had a question about her relationship with TJ, and they said it was given Kenya and Walter. So what you think?
Listen, I mean, because we have a little bit of leaked tea, we're not sure if it's true. We waiting to confirm, but I'm not really sure what to think. I was listening just to listen and see. Like now, again, I found it interesting that her rebuttal was it included that she was, upset about the fans feeling like she had paid him,
Yeah.
And then for this to kind of be, what's being insinuated that is supposed to be revealed next week. I don't know who, you know what I mean? Like
girl, she could have paid somebody else if she's on.
Well, that's the truth, honey. Now,
girl, because he got a whole gay face. I mean, his face just gives gay, and I got that from a gay person that said it's like, maybe maybe his eyes or something. Something about him just looks like it's. I don't know. He's not a bad looking guy, but he just don't look.
I mean, I don't know. I
just
don't
like he was interested in her. I'm just being for real.
Well, if he was being paid, I guess he wasn't. You know what I mean? I feel like when we talk about Kenya and Walter, I feel the same. Like we watched them, and he didn't seem interested in her.
Because he wasn't. She made like they was going to get married and everything else.
With this one, like he did. And see, and Kenya kind of did that same thing. Now, just me, I don't generally try. I kind of just don't dabble there. You know what I mean? Like with trying to say if it is or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. And I don't know, I guess like, cause I ain't gonna say who cares. I think she would like to know that information. But, I don't know. But at the same time, does he seem not interested? Did he talk to her rudely? I did on previous lives. I did kind of in the beginning try to speak up for at least the type of relationship they presented.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like he
was supposed to be a Christian like.
Right. Even though I don't know why people choose to use the word devout Christian, because I don't know what I mean from the other end. I don't know. I know that people use it to try to maybe emphasize whatever they are practicing. However, you see, that's another thing. I go back to the I don't like the, like jumping in and out, or it, like something being of offense, but you can do it yourself, because you can't have like you on here getting paid to be here, and that is deceitful, untrue, you're lying, you know what I'm saying? So
all that cussing he was doing on the phone.
But you can't tell me you're a devout Christian. You know what I mean? Like, excuse me? Like, wait, what? Wait. Is that what it looked like? Because I
Girl,
didn't. So again, I never knew why but I know again. I know that they want to emphasize why they're not being intimate.
yeah,
Um, like I said, I tried to speak up for him. I got egg on my face. It seemed like I got egg on my face about that Stacy because I really liked her. I liked her quirkiness. And again, that's what made me want to kind of just see it out. I understood it made sense in a
yeah.
certain type of way why you maybe would be okay just seeing somebody and not being intimate and you know what I mean? Like whatever. She dealing with whatever, you know what I'm saying? But here we are. So we're gonna see what do you think? What do you think?
Well, I think. Well, I'm thinking that I don't. I think he. I don't know if she particularly paid him, but I believe. I believe that. I don't believe they were a couple. I mean, because she wasn't even divorced yet, but you trying to hurry up and jump in with this man. I think it was all for show, and she didn't have to do that. She could have
That's
just
correct. Now that's correct.
her storyline could have just been her divorce and her baby, and that's
And I
it.
do wonder if that could be the issue sometimes with because I think what comes into my mind, especially since they've already compared the relationship to a Kenya and Walter, I wonder if that's sometimes the disconnect between bringing like an actress onto a reality show like that, or even like because she's not necessarily an actress, but she's a personality she a personality already. She's on QVC and you know what I mean. Like so, I wonder if there's an issue with when you bring people on like that because maybe they are coming into the situation. Um, it is a job, but treating it like, oh, I have to present and act, you know what I mean, a certain way or whatever. But yeah, but I liked her. I liked her. Now I would like to see her get a second season. Maybe she will with all of this, so we can kind of get some follow up. We'll see how they go. But Stacey, please don't turn out to be a little Kenya. Don't be no little messy boots, honey. No, man. Are done with that part of the demonstration.
Girl, yes. So then they go on and start talking about the fashion and the 613 blonde, because I didn't know what that was when they talked about it on the show. I'm like, what's 613?
Here's another thing that irritated me with Wendy, but go ahead.
So they talked about the blonde. They talked about Stacy's Whitney Houston wig, Ashley's bunions, Stacy wearing the same dress as Ashley that Vivian did, and what they talk about the blue Michelin tire outfit that Wendy had on.
God, that was so horrible. That was so horrible. Oh, God.
Look, no, I think the worst thing was that Kay's outfit with the shoulder pads to come up like
that was horrible too.
And then they talked about Mia outfits versus when she's with G or when she's with Ink. With Ink, she wears Fashion Nova. With G, she wore business attire. So there we go.
Yeah, out in the streets too. I mean, everything lining up in that order.
Girl, look, I felt some type of way when they were talking about Ashley Bunyan. I got one on my right foot, so I know what she said when she came in. By the time she was 10, I think that's when mine came in. But it is hereditary, and I know my aunt had hers removed, and my aunt said, knowing what she done, she said she would have never did it. She was too painful. Whatever. I said, girl, I just buy my shoes the right size and keep it moving. I heard of somebody getting it removed. Anytime you have surgery, there can be complications. But somebody had the surgery and died.
Oh no, right? Yeah.
It ain't bothering me that bad, honey.
Okay.
But when Ashley threw them damn feet up on that lady's counter, I said, bitch.
Yeah. And I feel like that's where I was coming from with her coming at Wendy with that lame little thing Josh didn't like. Like out of everything, that's what he picked up. Like he didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. It was giving that type of aggression and
Yes.
or not even aggression, but micro. There we go.
Uh-huh. And so
Micro.
what do you think about Angie having to text Wendy about her blue outfit?
Maybe somebody should have, but somebody should have stopped her before she left the house. Like, how did you talk about? I know I was given such and such. Like, it was that the goal? Because
And
how did you leave the house then?
so she thinks she's the fashionista on the show
And
now.
when she popped out, they got on her about how she changed up her dress, right? That's what she talked about
Yes.
her like trying to express herself. And so I think that she does think so. I think Wendy wears some nice things. I feel like that season where that was going on was a bit much. She had a few things on that was like, maybe she was trying to find, that right mix. I think she
Girl, I said she got that body done, and I thought, because the first season she came in.
Mhm.
Now I'm used to looking at her on Roland Martin. I used to watch Roland Martin. She would be on that, and I think I seen her on MSNBC. So when I
Mhm.
seen her on Potomac, I'm like, ugh. I don't like my political stuff mixing in with my ratchetness,
Right,
because I
right.
can't take you serious on your job no more.
Mhm.
So when she came on there, I didn't like her when she came on the show. I'm not even gonna lie. She came in too hot to me, and everybody dumb. She's the smartest one in the room. So I feel like she did that because, trying to, make herself feel better about herself. But I think she was inferior of the other women because you could tell she went and got her everything changed up the next season. Got her titties done, booty done, all that kind of stuff done. And that's the way I took it. And tried to dress better because I couldn't stand that damn hair weave and
Well, can we be honest though? Who not gonna go get this together when they get on TV?
well, true.
I,
But
you know,
then she,
I mean, like this should keep it real. Like, and maybe you won't go as far as doing maybe like ass done, titty work, whatever. But like, if you can go get your teeth fixed, you might go do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you could go get whatever, you might go do that because maybe you do want to be part of the aesthetic. You know.
no, I don't think anything was wrong with the look getting it done. I
Mhm.
thought the way you're this professor, then you came in dressing hoochie. I thought, ugh. And then because I'm accustomed to her on looking at her on politics, and
Mhm.
I'm like, why is she doing this? Because you're making your whole thing was that you're smart, you're a professor, this and that and the other. You got all these different degrees, and then you come back looking like a little Kim.
Well, that's what Giselle had to sell. That's what Giselle was serving her that season.
But
I mean,
so
I agree. I agree. That's what I mean with Wendy though. Like, I just don't like how she teeters this line for me. And I agree with when she first came in. I was having trouble like knowing if I liked her or not because I love the fact that she is educated and like all of her accolades, like
yes, black
everything that
excellence.
way. I love it, but it
Uh-huh.
was kind of like you used it, like you weaponized it. That's not cool. You know what I'm saying? But maybe and I agree. Maybe you felt intimidated, so you wanted to take your seat at the table, not wait for the interesting thing is you still needed to be in. So it was like you ostracized yourself, but then you fought to, get in.
Say
You know what
there,
I
yeah.
think is
To be a part of the clique.
situation. You had no business being in the position you was in with Karen, quite frankly. You know what I mean? Like if we go back to the history with them, quite frankly, you should have expected it, or you should not have gotten so engulfed, to where that was the expectation. Because I feel like this lady been handing you her butt to kiss the whole doggone time. And being an elder, all of that, I think I understand why she fell into it. But I just always wanted to see her boss up, and not boss up on their level. But I mean, like, because that's the way you presented yourself, and so so I think right now she's found a nice balance with her dressing. Like I say, that blue, it was like, oh girl. But I think she seems to have found a nice balance. One that I haven't seen anything that I'm like, ooh, why you wearing outside of that blue? Let me stop. Outside of that blue, honey, that blue was like, girl, don't you ever
Ever. I'm like,
yeah.
I said, is this some African attire? What is it? I didn't know what it was.
Mentioned that to say, like, maybe she had, done that, like, wore it for a designer or something. And I thought to myself, I said, well, maybe she should have said that on the reunion. But then I said, well, maybe not, like, because if everybody didn't like it, then just go ahead and keep that to yourself. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, I don't know, honey. It was a no for me.
So then they also brought up about Giselle buying the dress that Stacy forbidden her to get or them to get, and then when she got it, then she ended up giving it to Wendy when she saw her taping the confessionals.
I don't know. I didn't like the dress at all. I'm still trying to figure out what's the thing with the dress. Like, even when it played on the show, I didn't understand. I was like, and I like frilly, things and stuff, but I would have to see it on somebody to even imagine what that. It just looked like a lot of fabric.
Yes, it did.
Like,
it reminded me of those little girls wear the tutus.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, that's what they put me in mind of. That
type of fabric, but that's what I mean.
Like
a lot of it. Like, I don't see the dress, in my opinion, had no shape, form. Like, I don't know what it's supposed to look like on somebody. It's just like a lot of fabric.
It didn't look flattering.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I thought to myself, like, well, maybe she was being nice when she said it would look good on her. Like, maybe she was just trying to be quirky and funny, but maybe she actually just didn't want anybody to wear it because it didn't look good. I didn't think the dress looked good.
Maybe she did it so Giselle would buy it and look a mess.
That's what I mean. Like, because I didn't think it looked good at all. And I'm trying to figure out I don't know. Why ain't nobody talking about that? Like,
then they bring out Jacqueline rather, and she's pregnant doing May, and PP is not the father.
Yes, honey. Yeah, birds of a feather flock together, huh? Don't they?
Yeah, they do.
I mean, but it sounds like she know who her baby daddy is. So good for her.
So they go over to Mia and her love triangle, girl. We got the DNA, the children finding out about the divorce on TV, and then what they said, they were saying that it was the triangle was all a setup for the show. Giselle accused her of saying that, who was it, Giselle? Somebody said it was all three of them was in cahoots, which would be Ink, G, and her. It
was Wendy.
And okay, Miss Wendy said that. And Giselle says that that Mia lives in Atlanta.
I believe every word.
And then the back and forth about the IVF and the DNA test. Girl, what you think about that?
Listen, I believe every word those ladies said because I believe the same thing. I think I had said it on previous reviews that even when we discussed her being broken up with Ink, I'm like, I don't believe it. And like I said, the sign for me, I knew she started using that Mia more. And I know it's a play on her own name, but she started using it when she announced she was dating this guy. That was their little thing to each other. Mia more.
Uh-huh.
Even after she broken up with this guy, when she posts, she still uses that. And again, I know it's a play on her name.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. No, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't slick a can of oil. That, to me, that's still them communicating with each other. And so, yeah, I agree. I don't believe that they are broken up. Um, we've seen Gordon have conversations with Mia about arrangement, and being okay with that. I think this is a situation that had been already, and
Yes.
now it has just come flipped over, and now it's on camera.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yes, the what was the skit in Dave Chappelle when keeping it real goes wrong? Ask me at Thornton. Like keeping it real,
I
just
mean,
that.
because I'm like, why would you? I mean, because you have children, so why would you play about this whole DNA test thing?
Well, I
Why?
said it way back last year when the very first inkling about it, I said that. Well, and I guess maybe not too many people thought that far or thought it out far enough. But IVF is just some those types of things when people go through that. It's too to the T. It's too planned
Yes.
out. It's too, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody is so, and not saying things don't go wrong. I know we've seen movies about, oh, whatever like that. And maybe there's a chance about it. Maybe we talking about the smallest possibility. However, I did think it was irresponsible for her to know because she had already told us that she had those kids by IVF. That was previous, right? Like, because she had spilled all her guts the first season, right? When we found out where they met and all of that. So we knew that if you that's why you always have to remember if you thought back. So I always question, like, well, how is it that how you gonna have a question about who the paternity is when you use IVF, So we get to the point where she trying to lie her way out of it. Mia be lying. And so she's like, well, if you had sex with them, ooh. And it's like, okay, no, girl. Now
Stupid.
right, I found it interesting that when they got on the show, because now here we go, everybody want to bring up Gordon, like, well, he brought it out. He said something because he was mad, you know what I'm saying? And Mia was being disrespectful. Like he asked her, he told her you can have him, which she clearly had, as long as she was respectful about it. She started being disrespectful. He lost his money. She started being extra disrespectful.
Yes.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Because now she got the money and she doing everything. And so she started flaunting this guy. So he came out and he spilled it, because that's what y'all do. Y'all spill y'all guts around here. So that came out. But then you come on this season and you tell that man that Ink wants a DNA test. Now, how the hell did he get in this? Or as far as like requesting whether he want a DNA test or not. Yeah, she damn wrong for that. She deserved that ass whooping that she was getting, because somebody needed to. If her mama didn't call her up on the phone and tell her off, somebody should have. If one of her many moms, because every time you turn around, one of her nannies is her mama.
Yeah.
And she always sharing it with Jacqueline, which I don't understand that either. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But somebody needed to let you know that this is foul, and you are foul.
Yeah.
Because nobody
exactly.
You can't point your finger and then one of them ladies about this right here. Like this is all your mess. And that running off, like you read, that's my cue. No, and that's the same selective outrage. If you heard her going off, not my kids, not my kids. So now you're gonna use this. Don't talk about my kids. Girl, you gave all the ammo. That's what I agree with Giselle with every word she said on that couch. Took the words right out of my throat chakra. Is that what that was? That's right out of it. Like, because I felt the same way. Let's say, be please. Like, be please. Like, no. You are not the victim in this, honey. You are the villain. You
Well,
are
I'm
the villain.
gonna go ahead and play it real quick
Go ahead, honey.
again
I'm gonna
because
go
I
grab
said,
gummy worm, salt and sour. I'm sorry, I need a little snack. My mouth waters.
okay, hold on a second. Let me get this thing to going. Yeah, Miss not that. Okay. Let's see if we can find it here. So I called myself saving all this junk earlier, but girl, because I look my main thing. Here we go.
Mia, if the conversations surrounding your child were bringing stress to your life, what made you think it was okay to bring up Giselle's daughters in an even worse context?
Your girls were sneaking boys in the house in DR, and on social media, you post like everything is perfect.
You know, I didn't think it's okay, and I actually apologized to her. And
then you got in my face. Then you at her when she was a man. You jumped up from your wherever you were sitting, got in my face, and tried to act like you was gonna do something to me.
Keep my children out your mouth, Mia.
No, you keep my children out our mouth.
I haven't talked about your children. I talked about you. I talked about you.
Okay.
I talked about you.
You getting in my face?
when was this? What's the show?
At the end.
No, this was at the
Yes.
end.
Oh,
At
yes,
the end
it
of the
had,
night.
no, they did not show it.
They didn't show it.
They didn't
So
show
that's
it, but it
because you
happened.
were saying that I was a terrible mother.
You have acted like that
And
this season, a
so-
terrible mother, and I stand by that. No woman, no mother would put their child on a platform to discuss his paternity. No mother would do that. No mother.
That's that's it. The truth hurts, I guess.
I mean,
Not my kids.
it is
No,
what
I
it
just
is.
don't get it. I don't do people doing and not being able to be accountable for their
Thank you, Wendy. After all the she did, now you're gonna get up and walk away? Bitch, please.
You know, it's really unfortunate. This is an environment where husbands and children should be off limits, and it's sad.
We are going to take a break. We'll be right back.
What you think about that?
Listen, like I told you, everything Giselle said, I agree. And I try not to judge people's parenting, because that's sensitive. You know what I mean? Mia should be upset, but she should be mad at herself. You know what I mean? For doing this, for exploiting her family the way she did, her kids.
Yeah.
Even though, like, and this is the, going back to Housewives history, there was a time frame in the beginning, and I think this kind of shifted with Atlanta, because Atlanta started, but then it kind of shifted a little bit. But anyhow, where this was about their families, and they had their young kids, and you know what I mean, the kids were there, and whatever was going on, like OC had the early seasons of OC, baby, they had some kids on there that was wilding out, child. So anyhow, there was a time where the kids were a part of the show. This is before a lot of this social media type of activity we see today. And again, at a certain time frame as the show progressed, that kind of shifted. You see the kids, you know that they exist, and some of this is due to the kids getting older. But even as new cast members came in, it's just not a huge focal point per se, on including the children in a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, so with that being said, it's just kind of like I agree that the kids should always be off limits like that. Like they just should. And the difference here is that nobody attacked these kids. Like you let these dogs loose. You know what I mean?
Because I mean, why did she bring up Giselle girls? I'm like, what?
And even with that, you know, Giselle girls are teenagers.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like if they and so and I think her bringing up like, well, like what is she supposed to post about that? That is
Exactly.
not Instagram's business. And here we are because it's the same with you. We telling you some of that just wasn't even our business. Take us out the group chat, girl.
Exactly.
Like, cause you don't want our opinion, and we don't want to see this crying. I think that was a coward move she did. You know, she went live last night. I didn't listen
I
to
seen her and her husband.
Yeah, funny. But you know what I found interesting? Nobody picked it up. I ain't seen nobody picked it up. What I seen everybody talking about, which is the perfect segue before we get, well, we know it ends with the conversation Eddie is having with TJ. We don't know quite what it is, so we're gonna talk about that next week. But that's what I'm saying. This is the perfect segue to Married to Medicine, because everybody was talking about Quad. Her post.
Yes, I got it up here too. Let me put it on up there. Look. Yes, that I watched Dr. Heavenly's live today. And Quad was supposed to come on with her, but Quad was still shook about that. Hold on a second.
Surrounding your child will bring
was about the situation with Greg, and so she was triggered. And Dr. Heavenly, here, I'll play it. Here you go.
See, this is you. You can be so naive sometimes.
I'm not being naive.
You can be so naive sometimes.
You're not getting nowhere with that. So you gotta really calm down.
What did I do?
You know what you did.
No, what did I do?
Be quiet.
It's your fault. Don't say shit to make me go off.
It's not my fault. It's really not my fault.
It really is your fault.
I have an entitled to my opinion, Gregory.
Your opinion makes no sense.
Right now, I understand it's a sensitive time.
You think you know everything, don't you?
I'm looking out for the team.
Well, you should look out for the team by listening to the leader of the team.
I understand that you're upset.
You know, you're making me hype.
But it doesn't get to a point where you have to say I'm naive. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I don't know who you think you're talking to.
Be quiet.
I don't know who you think you're talking to.
Be quiet. Don't go.
Stop saying stupid stuff.
That's not saying stupid.
You won't get the reaction that you don't want. Okay. How about that?
Stop.
Quad probably was right about a few things about him. Like what?
See, this is.
So, what you think about this?
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think Quad had any business posting about it? I can see her being triggered, and I'm fine with that. But do you think she should have posted about her being triggered?
I know Dr. Heavenly told her to just leave it alone. And that, you know, because Dr. Heavenly said they were on the phone all night, or she talked with, I ain't gonna say on the phone because it could have been in person. But the reason why she didn't do her Patreon, but she did like 7 minutes of it, but she went live for about an hour on YouTube. But she said that her and Quad talked basically all night. And about the that's why, because Dr. Heavenly was almost crying tonight. And she said, because normally she tried to make things funny. She said, but none of this was funny. And she kept apologizing about inviting them onto the show. She said, even though, you know, all of us had courted her, but she said, I'll take that. She said, because she said,
well, she should, because she was the most vocal last season about Sweet Tea, and we hadn't known necessarily what took place as far as during filming, you know, any of that. But Dr. Heavenly was the most vocal about, yeah, she got to come on here, like that. She get married, you know what I'm saying? Like she produced them. And then I said, you know, I'm like, and so maybe these are good things, at least for Dr. Heavenly to experience as well, because, you know, like now you got to really kind of reevaluate how you moving, you know, like, because you either going to be a creator or you going to, you know, be the talent, man.
And so she also stated that with this, with Sweet Tea and Greg, that how she really, she's, even though I don't really particular, have a relationship with her, she said, but she, after watching that and seeing that, she said, you can't help but feel sorry for her. I was like, me watching that part of the that clip and watching it on play out on the show, and I thought, because at first when he was talking to her about her wanting to run up on King, I go, and she's talking about she had military combat training. I'm like, girl, please, whatever. That's a whole fit man, because I don't think she can get with Dr. G, to be honest. Let alone get with King. But watching that, it made me feel a certain way about watching this girl go up there and him kind of, I don't know. Yeah, and I'm like, damn, because the stuff, it ain't.
I've called it. I've said Dr. Gregory has little man syndrome.
Yeah.
That is what his main problem is, which, I mean, outside of how that mass, comes out with everything, but that's his issue. And I feel like he probably got a little pissy, and none of this is right and okay. But because he has little man syndrome, he got irritated with her because her talking about, oh, it wasn't gonna go that far. Like, she really kind of said it like, oh, I'm gonna come and save you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. Exactly, because what Dr. Heavenly has said in a live, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, that when she was running up there, she had told them that Dr. G is the breadwinner and that she has to go and fight King. She's going to use her military training because her husband is older and he can't be fighting because he's a doctor. I said, this girl done lost her fucking mind. Because you even notice, well, let's go back. Let's start at the beginning. Let's get out of this. So we start with Married Medicine. They're still out there in Key West. And it picks up with King and Dr. G being into it, and King's running up to Dr. G. And Dr. G is backing the fuck away. So you got Sweet Tea running up there, Quad's running, trying to get to them, and he breaks loose and go over there. Then after that happens, you have the scene is Toya's walking along drinking. You got Phaedra and them over there praying over Sweet Tea.
Oh my God. And let's just mention Contessa, because
and then Phaedra speaking in tongues.
But that's what I mean. Let's just mention Contessa, because Contessa is gonna make sure she do whatever she can to be wherever the stuff is going down at. She is gonna include herself. She is gonna come in and be the loudest person. And here come Phaedra. Now she praying, you speaking in tongues, this girl falling out and screaming. Like, what is happening?
Girl, so I'm like,
and I agree with Simone. I don't think God chose Phaedra.
And I'm like, because I had to ask my mom about it, because I call bullshit on the whole thing. I can understand. I don't even understand why Sweet Tea was so animated and upset. I said, maybe I'm just ghetto. I said, because my husband and them, they always, when they was young back in the day, they'd been drinking, and it because of the family, everybody fighting. I don't remember a time having a fit like that. You try to break it up. These are all professional people. We know it ain't no guns out there.
It's elevated. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, depending on where things was at, but I think everything is elevated. I feel like Sweet Tea is in an environment that she is not ready for, and I'm glad Toya brought it up once we kind of moved there, because those ladies do need to be accountable for the way they brought that lady in and then just left her out there. So I think we just saw Sweet Tea having like a breakdown because she's probably been, and going back to what we started the show talking about, how the show ended with Dr. Greg really showing his true colors about the way he speaks to her, and he is abusive. That's what I saw. But when I looked at it, I don't know anybody else seems
because people kept saying, "Did you hear him smack her?" I said, "I don't know."
Oh no, I don't know if I heard all that, and I wasn't listening for none of that. But what I did really pick up on, and then go back to watching her, what you bringing up, I'm pretty sure she has spent a lot of energy trying to manage his emotions and make sure that they was going to be able to stay and to be okay and but it didn't happen. So when we see her going through that, it didn't help to have Contessa over here screaming in your ear, "It's okay, you girl." Like, that's what happened to her with Buffy. Like, where did you come from? You don't have to hold on to it. Like, nobody asked you for this. But that girl, she needs some attention so bad. Poor baby. She needs some attention so bad. She does. And so it was chaos, and that's just it. And here comes Phaedra.
Yeah. Just
what Apollo say?
Girl speaking in tongues.
I ain't never heard that.
97.
You probably done heard a lot of things come out of her mouth, but it was never speaking in tongues. Huh?
I said the same thing though. My thing is, I am a person who grew up in church, and I had asked my mom. I was like, "Wait a minute," because y'all know people speak in tongues. I said, "But me personally, I don't mix my sinning with Bible stuff. I just don't. Me, I know y'all drinking. We all having a good time. Y'all hearing the thong and all the things we got going on." Now, okay, you try to calm her down, maybe say prayers, but to go as far as I said, ain't no Holy Spirit in that. Ain't no Holy Spirit. It been invited in. People go, well,
and that, I don't, I grew up in church too. I don't, because I feel like it's all relative, because some people is different than others, but that's exactly my experience, is that there's a different way in which you invite to come and speak tongues, and it doesn't happen that way, and so it does feel like here we Phaedra, like makes a mockery, because at the same time, as I said already, you can't be both. You've been and even with that, and it may be years later, she may be feeling like, oh well, it doesn't matter, we don't know the whole story, whatever it is. But that big of a lie that looms over her head, you can't just go on and not feel like anybody's worth any, explanation. And then tell me you walking around praying over people in tongues.
I said it'd been more believable if it was Dr. Jackie. I said, and so I got so tickled with when Dr. Damon and Eugene was walking. Look, they hugging each other walking. And Dr. Eugene said, "What the heck?" And Toya looking at them like, "Really? Y'all just was
for real, what is happening?" I have just entered the Twilight Zone.
So Dr. Simone says it's time to go, and then they had to get 2 boats back, to take back, and she had Sweet Tea, Dr. G, Phaedra, Sheck, and who was it? Was anybody else on that boat with them? Phaedra, Sheck, Sweet Tea, Dr. G. Was it just those 4?
Just them. Because Contessa gonna be wherever. Now, even though Contessa was just over there praying and she got all that stuff kicked off, she gonna be wherever they at. Because that's, like I said, she is an attention seeker. That girl, oh
Okay.
my God. And all of a sudden, now she ain't had 2 words to say to Heavenly. Every time she saw Heavenly, she ready to jump on her, square up. And then you go try to have a conversation with her about sweet tea.
She said, "Are you okay?" But so when they're on the boats and she's talking to Dr. Heavenly, Sweet Tea is over there talking to Phaedra and Shek, and she said, "All I asked Dr. Heavenly was who invited Shireen or whatever," and she made references that she didn't want to have to beat up the elderly. And they kind of pan over to Dr. Jean. He just kind of looked. Yeah. And then in the same breath, she mentioned she had never been in a fight before. So I'm thinking, you've never been in a fight before, but you gonna run up on King?
But you
to the point that
we're gonna talk again about respect and how people treat you when they respect you. Because again, Contessa has been able to get away with that same thing about being in the military and being stronger than everybody. She has the reputation for whatever reason that she can beat everybody up. Now she's the smallest thing out there. Right?
Maybe because she bodybuild, maybe.
She, as far as we know, she just did that last season. She was on the show. Yeah. So that it's not like she was introduced to us and that's what she did. And she had already been out the military. So I'm saying this to say, you can be in the military and not have seen combat. You can be in the military, you do all the training because that's what you have to do to get through it, but never have, had to practice any of it.
Yeah, but they don't train you to fight. They don't train you to.
They probably teach you defense things and stuff like that. You in the military. Look, it's
like
okay, yeah.
They teach you a little bit. It's like maybe like a 45-minute in service.
Okay.
Doing basic training, but
hardcore type of. But I'm saying
no.
Too, so about
we training to shoot.
And like you or whatever, because like I said, nobody's ever given Contessa that. Even Scott, when she got into it with Simone, Scott, all right, that ain't what you want. Like, what? You know what I mean? So it's the lack of respect. Like I said last week, that's the reason why Dr. Heavenly jumped and spoke to that lady the way she did, because she would not have done that to nobody else, not one of them other ladies, and I don't care which one you name. She would not have turned around and spoke that to her. She talked to that girl like that was not even her child. She talked to her like she was a child, but like she was some child lost off the damn street that wandered up, and I don't know. And those are things that's really bothering me about Dr. Heavenly, because those are things that need to be checked. And while we on Dr. Heavenly, we'll just talk about her doing those lives. And, we selective outrage again, but to this morning, she in trouble about one of her comments she made on her live. And like I said, selective outrage. For me, the reason why I named it that is because that's not the first time that lady done said that. That same belief that she just spewed out, she done said it 5 million times since we've been watching this lady on YouTube. That belief that she spewed out is in her, and whether she said it right, I feel like majority of people watching her understand what she's talking about. Now, but again, here we go. We got to get into your terminologies and the way that you're saying it. But this is the point. You got a whole group of people that can tell you that they offended about this and what you said, and yet you defend what it is you meant by what you said. Yet you meant to offend. You just didn't offend the person you were trying to offend. You were trying to offend Greg.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and publicly offend him. You just happen to offend a whole group of people while you're doing it. You know what I mean? But the thing is, and which go back to him having that little man syndrome, that's probably something he is used to dealing with. Going back to Sweet Tea, feeling like making that remark to him, and probably setting him off because he's already feeling like little man, like he can't. You know what I'm saying? Like he like he can't. He ain't. You know. And so he got to do this extra stuff, like how he was with King, because he was out of line and out of pocket. You know, but that's what you got to do to make yourself feel bigger, I guess, on the inside, because you got little man syndrome.
Yeah.
And PT, she is trying to manage it because she done sniffed out a pot of gold that she, just didn't know what all came with it. And too bad for her, because Portia went through it. Like, if you just would have held on a little longer, maybe did a little research, you probably would have found out that maybe that wasn't the tree you wanted to go up under. Because I was thinking somebody else got duped. Oh, Kenya, there we go. I was like, somebody.
Are you talking about Kenya and Mark, or Kenya and that?
And Mark? Because what I'm saying is, out of desperation, like you went and basically sniffed out this man, and you got a whole headache, honey. Like what I say, the dream became a nightmare.
Oh, so Kenya sniffed out Mark?
No.
Okay.
Well, when it comes to her, I think she describes the story of Chef Roble in introducing him to. She said she went to have dinner at his restaurant. And
okay.
Yeah, that's her. I'm talking about Sweet Tea.
Yes. So I do believe, like, far as Sweet Tea and Greg, because she's still defending their relationship, and like I said, it was just hard to watch. I mean, because I know she kind of be the butt of a lot of things, but it was hard to watch that part. So the next thing we go to from the boat ride back, we go to I think it's the next morning. Dr. Contessa is bringing up Heavenly. And, then we have Heavenly and Simone talking to Apollo and Shireen. We got Dr. Jackie and Phaedra making her grand exit. But I want to say this about Phaedra, Apollo, Shireen, Shek. Dr. Heavenly was not trying to break the fourth wall this evening. She said she apologizes about Quad, but Phaedra, no. She said because, and from what I understand, is that Phaedra and Apollo was trying to find a way for him to get on that show and for him to do that trip. The whole thing was when it backfired because they both agreed no funny business. And when she decided to bring his friend, which I've seen in another person's live talk about Shek, and they said that they went to college with him, he was into, the other type of women. Okay. And then Dr. Heavenly said it again tonight. He and the white women. She said nobody believed that him and Phaedra was for real. And then even to the point that Toya had asked why they were on the beach, was he gay?
Okay.
So they said no one really believed that. But she was saying, far as the stuff between what all went down between them, she said the reason why she apologized to Apollo, because she said she felt responsible because she did invite him, but she had no idea that Shireen was coming. She said, you can say I invited him because that's what it's shown. She said, Phaedra knew everything, but she said she knew that he was not bringing his wife. So Phaedra said, because he run everything through me. So when it came to that, and when because that's why Dr. Heavenly said she was so happy that
he does not at this point, huh? I said we see he does not.
Yes. And so I think that the whole thing was that she was gonna bring Shek to get under Apollo's skin, but when he found out she was bringing Shek, that's why he brought his wife. And she said that the argument between Shireen and Phaedra got so deep. Because even Sweet Tea mentioned it too in one when she talked to DJ Sky Ritchie, that Phaedra and Shireen really got into it. And Shireen said a lot of things because Dr. Heavenly said things she would not repeat. Is what she said. I don't know who put that battery in her back, but because first
in her back, and her husband put it in her back. That's who put it in there.
From what Sweet Tea has said on there, that she mentioned something. Shireen mentioned something about their kids, and when Dr. Jackie and Phaedra are talking, and Phaedra said that she kind of blamed Dr. Jackie, and Dr. Jackie was like, from what I understood, you knew he was coming. And she said, I don't know Apollo very well. You know, she don't know Shireen. And like Dr. Heavenly was saying, she said, Apollo's a felon, or, a criminal. And she said, look like Shireen fight for sport. She was like, and she wasn't getting into it. And one of the reasons she did apologize for really going off on Sweet Tea, she said, but she was so goddamn nervous. She said, because she had no idea all this stuff was going down.
Oh, well, she better say something, because that's exactly what I was saying. It's like, you had no business talking to that girl the way you did, the way she went off on her.
Said like, she was so nervous.
I would be still trying to whoop on her ass if I was Sweet Tea. Like,
she said, thank God I failed. She said, because I don't know if we would have actually got into it. She said, when her husband came over there, Dr. Damon thought for a second that Sweet Tea had hit her because she had fell in the water. But going back to Dr. Jackie and Phaedra, I thought, Phaedra, really? How you going to blame Dr. Jackie on this one? And this is something that you and Apollo cooked up. Because I'm so interested to know if he's going to be following her over there to Roa.
And then go back to Dr. Heavenly. Like, you need to give it up. You're going to do one or the other. I don't know what, just because Dr. Heavenly is giving it, I don't know what to believe, Now, what I thought was interesting, it looked like she was probably recording when she was.
She said she did.
Okay, yeah. So, but like I said, even as I was looking, I'm like, here she go. You know what I mean? But it looked like she was recording.
Yeah, she said in her live last week or whatever, she said she was recording, and she do got it all on film or on her phone. But I don't think
because Salt Lake City just cussed that lady out about recording them on her phone, and I guess these people don't even care, huh?
I guess not. I don't know. Then so we got Phaedra leaving with her grand exit, which I thought was tight. With the
she did it,
I saw she looked cute when she left. And but I just thought Dr. Jackie was not to blame for her misfortune.
Definitely.
So what do you feel about
I feel like she probably, you opened up the door for that. I think that lady Shireen has been trying to get into the same room with Phaedra since she met Apollo. And Phaedra has been paying her dust. So she thought she would ambush that lady. And that's, to me, that's it.
And I was going to make another point about Dr. Jackie, Shireen. Oh, shoot, I can't remember. Whatever. But yeah, my only thing was that, like, if Phaedra really, because it seems like the network or whomever, the powers that be, kind of favors Phaedra because she didn't even have to come to the reunion, but she still can be on Roa. And so they were saying, like, if she really didn't want Apollo on there, he would not have been there. Because I said, because she the one brought him in the first place.
Well, Apollo is her story. So it, like, him being there is not foreign. The people who we questioning is Shaq and maybe Shireen, whatever her name is. But yeah, I mean, if she would need something.
Yeah.
She's on that show and there's nothing. You don't have any connection with the ladies. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not harping on how he got there at all, to be quite honest. Like, who invited who? I agree that she would have to know, because I don't think he's signing releases and things behind her back. You know what I mean? But now his wife, maybe so, because that's his wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We saw him say that she wasn't coming, but like I said, she must have changed her man, because I'm sure she has been itching to get in the same. Like, you could tell by the way he ain't thinking about you. Nobody was even talking to her, because she could have stayed right out of it. That's the same thing we say about Sweet Tea and Quad. Like, they telling somebody that one is jealous of the other is so silly, because like, why would y'all have a problem at all? And all of this, like, he cheated on her while she was pregnant with her second son. I feel like that's false. We watched Atlanta Housewives.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what come and spin the truth again. So now you got everybody running around. But again, now did he start dating her while they were still married? Yeah, but you had the chocolate. But here we go again. We ain't never seen chocolate, right?
They said it's supposed to be Giselle's ex-husband, allegedly.
Oh, is that okay? I can see that too. That's funny that I could actually see that as being something for real that did happen.
Yeah. And then once Phaedra leaves, the women are going out and the men are going out. Like, they're going to a cigar rolling place, and the women are going to a rum place. And then the women discuss what happened the night before. And I guess I'm trying to remember then. So, then they also talk about, Phaedra leaving, getting on her private jet and leaving, and she ain't fooling with them no more.
Okay.
And I mean, that's what I was going to ask you. How do you feel about Phaedra calling them mean girls? And okay, I guess if she had never been on road, we knew nothing about her. But since we know about her, how do we feel about Phaedra calling them ladies mean girls?
I think Phaedra just say stuff to get herself out of it. She kind of like Amia, but she just kind of got more class and grace than Amia. You know what I mean? But no, I didn't think much about it. I thought there was a point to it. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, so piggybacking where Toya brings it up. But yeah, because even in the midst of this, we just saw we saw them turn on Quad. We years ago, we saw them turn on Mariah. We like how they clipped back and showed all the stuff. Dr. Jackie and Heavenly. It's a wonder they've even gotten to where they was at, because Dr. Jackie, as we saw once upon a time, didn't even consider this lady a doctor. Let alone friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, barely want to talk to this lady.
When Dr. Heavenly told her she was smarter than her.
Right. So it's just I mean, it was Phaedra being Phaedra, but I think even liars can sprinkle truth in. You know what I mean? Maybe mean girl behavior for sure. Trying to bring somebody's ex on the show when y'all in the group. Yeah, that's nasty work. That's the devil's work.
Yeah, but the devil's work was when she brought Quad to Sweet Tea's bachelorette party.
All of it was the devil's work.
I'm like, okay,
because the thing is, they was trying to create a situation between Quad and T.
It didn't make sense. Yes.
Mean. You know what I mean? Mean. So she called that right. Now maybe I'm saying, like I said, that they have mean girl behavior. Again, it's part of the show. Like some of the stuff you sign up for, but no, some of it you don't. You know what I mean? Like again, yeah, some of it get real low blow.
Yeah, I'm like
accusing Dr. Eugene and Toya of orchestrating a needless break-in.
Yes.
Like it gets nasty.
I wonder why she did that.
You could and it's funny to me because you couldn't even make me believe that not just that somebody did tell you that, but they told you that in a way where you took it as fact. Like that's again why I don't like when people do stuff like that. Going back to Dr. Heavenly, like I don't like how you kind of tell the story and you tell it for somebody else. You know what I mean? Because even though you was there, it doesn't mean that what you're telling is accurate. And even from an accurate point of view, especially when you describing Dr. Greg and Sweet Tea, because you don't like them. So I don't know that you ever gonna come from an objective place.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So not everybody has with her smart tail, but not everybody has a mind that is great enough to know to take what somebody's saying and maybe analyze character. You know what I'm saying? To figure out if what you're saying is even remotely close to truth. You know what I mean? Like, because some stuff can be so far, you're like, oh hell, you know, like, oh. But then you kind of like, well, I can, like I said about Phaedra and Jamal Bryant, like, yeah, I kind of can see that. Like, it don't even sound like yeah, like I can actually see that.
Yeah, so then
back to how they was dressed for their wedding, like Phaedra get all extravagant and shit, you know, like so I could definitely see that. Yeah,
that's why I couldn't believe her and Shaq. I'm like, this don't seem like a match.
I feel like it was just story. I think it was just story. I do. I think Phaedra knows that she has to have something, which is going back again to why she would agree for Apollo to come.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then we get past that, and then they're getting ready for their last night there, and they have the lemon glass bowl, whatever it's called, and everybody's dressed in yellow. And so we get to Toya basically calling all the women out on their shit.
As she should.
And I do agree with Toya wholeheartedly because I mean, some things, you know, we like for entertainment, but you know, because it's not our life.
You know, I'm gonna go back again and I'm gonna blame it on Kenya, even though Kenya ain't got nothing to do with Married to Medicine. But what I'm blaming on her is that formula, that nasty streak, that mean stuff that end up being ushered in. It kind of like, and if you've been a Housewife fan for these years to watch the evolution of those shows, that's when her coming in, her and Portia season coming in.
Yeah.
Even thinking about the reunion where, Lord, it lives rent free in my head. I don't condone violence, but I was happy that it happened. I can't even. And I like to see the replay. I can't
Girl,
about it.
I loved every second of it when she joined
her.
I
can't even lie to you. I'm so sorry. Like that might be my most favorite, like Real Housewives of Atlanta moment. Like that right there. Like if she did drag that lady across the floor. Like, yes. Like, yes, like, and she deserved it. Look, she deserved it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, she brought in this nastiness and this meanness, and with that, it brought in views and all the extra stuff. So everybody else had to get down with it. You like that became the bar now, you know, like, and so now we're not gonna do like, oh, let me just leave you off the, you know, guest list. We're not gonna do that shade. Now we about to go and, you know, do background checks and find out if you paid your bills last month, and, you know, like if your house in foreclosure, you know, like, and now we, you know, exposing these things. So yeah, there's a nastiness that these shows have gotten to, that I would like for us to see evolve from there. And Married to Medicine, up until this point, and last season, is the start of it, because it did come in with the introduction of Dr. G and T. Up until this point, I feel like they've managed to kind of try to stay away from it so much. Seems like maybe that's why they figured they had to get rid of Mariah. And even though that, like, going back to that thing, that was Quad who did it, but they didn't like Mariah, so they picked Quad. You know what I mean? Like, even though it was Quad that was making that allegation against Mariah that was so mean.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But anyhow, yeah, it's just, I would just like to see it kind of get back to some lightness and not trying to purposely bring people down. You know, life hard enough. Like, it's hard enough that they got to live in Atlanta together. You know what I mean? Like, do you got to bring him to Key West with me? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I mean with Quad. Quad probably should have just left with her head held up. But I know it's a good check. And baby Quad probably like, what am I going to do, honey? You know, like, if I don't keep it. So, I don't know. We might be stuck with it.
You think Sweet Tea is going to stay? She looks like she can't take it. I mean, you know, for her, because when was that? The week before the reunion, she just seemed like she was so bummed out on her YouTube. I mean, she said it was affecting her mental psyche and everything else. And I don't know if I couldn't do it if it made me feel like that.
Not unless there is going to be a meeting of the minds, but with her and Quad, where they sit down and agree that they don't have a problem with each other. That if they do got problems, it happened to be with the same person, and it's just her husband. Like, I don't get it. But again, Dr. Greg has little man syndrome. So he done brought this lady in. He done gave her whatever information or perception from what his, you know, experience relationship is. And so it's kind of like, you remember when we watched What's Love Got to Do with It? And I kind of used the, you know, like him being left all the time and nobody caring about him, kind of forcing her to give him this promise that she wouldn't leave him. It's given that.
Yeah.
Sweet Tea, it tries to manage him a lot. And like going into that last scene where he telling her, it's your fault. It's your fault. Like, actually, none of this is her fault.
Because I'm like, what is he talking about? Is her fault? Because she told.
The only thing I can say he could be talking about is that he feels like she basically challenged his manhood. Like, going back to that look when she mentioned elderly, like, he kind of gave this look as if he felt offended.
Yeah, he did.
You know. And so, like,
I was like, because when is he
gonna be all of that? And so he's like, well, what? But then going back to, she said, well, I use my combat training. Now, see, I feel like a confident man, not saying this is a man that's gonna let you do anything like that. But a confident man would have been like, I know that's, like, you better, like, woo, 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 like, yeah, like, whatever. If I'm in need, like, like, woo, woo, come on, have my back. And I'm not saying that is like he will want you to, but I feel like you talking about an insecure person, and especially dealing with this little man syndrome. He knows that it's him that's supposed to protect her. And so now he's feeling, because of course you got this imbalance between a man and a woman. So that exists. Like, how you finna run up on some man? So now he's gonna have to protect you even further. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So his manhood was attacked, and so he attacked her. That's it. That's it. That man got little man syndrome. He got to be like, what, 5'5"?
I don't know. He looked like he's the same height as Dr. Damon.
Well, I was gonna say Dr. Damon looked small too, but he looked a little bit taller than Dr. I mean, a little bit tall. Dr. Damon looks a little bit taller than him to me. But
I know Dr. Heavenly said she's like 5'4". I would imagine he's probably about 5'8", 5'7", 5'8", somewhere in there.
Well, here's hoping.
I think also, remember when they're on the beach arguing, and after they get King back and separate the men, Sweet Tea is still over by King. And remember, Quad tells her to go by her husband. I'm like, what is Sweet Tea doing?
Confused. Now let me ask you this: at the end, when they're having the conversation, they started off the lemon squeeze or whatever they're calling that, with asking the question like, how do they feel about exes on the trip? How did you feel about them having that conversation that way? Like, did it feel like, I don't know, like it felt like what is the point of having this conversation at this point? You know what I mean? Y'all done already invited the people.
I think because moving forward, I think they're well, as we see, I think they're going to be Sweet Tea is going to want them to pick a side. And
well, that's what I mean. So I don't know what having a conversation about how do we feel about exes joining the group. I don't know why that was necessary to have at that point, because it just seemed like, well, y'all a little too late for this conversation. Like, they're here now, and now y'all
because they're already there.
Now you got to figure out what y'all can do with it.
Yes. Because they're definitely not in a place where it seems like they can really be around each other. And I think...
No, for sure not.
I feel like he is... well, they're probably both the same. Because Quad got in her feelings. That's why she act the fool.
Yeah, I feel like it's both of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, they kind of feed off of whatever trauma they had together. I don't know, but I know that Dr. Heavenly said from here on out, it's the King, Quad, Sweet Tea, Greg situation all the way to the end.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and just how the group, and somebody asked on her live tonight, how did they ever recover from this? And she said the best we could. I don't know how this is going to end up, but it's
already they iced out Greg and T. I mean, that's it.
The one of the issues they said was Sweet Tea, when she gets animated, she put her hands on people. I'm not really fighting, but pushing.
That's what they get for going to get this girl. Yeah, like y'all brought her.
Yeah, so they I was listening to a Spiller Boy, and he was like, you know how he said, be careful what you ask for. He said Married to Medicine was doing just fine, but the people thought we needed somebody younger to bring in a younger crowd. He said when you get young folks, you get stuff like this. You know, even though Toya and Mariah fought, and Miss Lucy was hitting her in the head with the purse.
Right.
But I feel like because
TV is not polished, like at all.
No,
She's just not polished, not in life, and definitely not enough for reality television. And she don't seem like somebody who picks up quick. You know what I'm saying? Like going back to, I think I said this last week, she is determined to be different from those ladies. Like that is she, with everything she got, she's determined to be different than them. And that's going to be to her downfall, because some things you probably need to take a few notes on, and that could, you know, like how to behave in this world, you know, and this world meaning the reality TV space, you know what I mean? One thing about that kind of irritates me sometimes with people, because I'm a person that probably beats to the what is the saying? Drum to your own drum. To their own drum. I'm probably a person like that. I probably do my own thing a lot. But I feel like you gotta know, going back to being intelligent, you know, and smart, you have to know when to get information from other people, you know, like, and take it in, like, and use it, you know, like when it comes time for you. So that's where Sweet Tea is just, she's not gonna be on this show and no other show. Like, no Traders is not about to call her. Like, she's not about to go do anything. I don't know why Jamie is. Well, maybe she'll stay on YouTube. But if they don't ask her back to Married to Medicine, we ain't gonna see Sweet Tea again. Oh, we might see them on Marriage Boot Camp. Yeah, or couples therapy, one of those two. But we won't see her again, and and I think that's fine. You know, like again, they had no business going to get that lady in the first place. It's funny, you know what I mean? Like, as soon as they met her, like, you know, and again, kudos to Toya for telling the truth when the truth needs to be told, and saying it to people's face and not hiding behind anything. You know what I mean? Because that was mean. Y'all did, like, what y'all did was freaking mean. And we're not just going, because we in this world where y'all self-producing. That's the thing. Dr. Heavenly, you went and got that lady. And then, like I said, then y'all just dropped her. That's cruel. And and Quad is better than I am, because with friends like that, who need enemies?
Well, you know, the thinking was, and this is what Sweet Tea said she was told, and kind of what Dr. Heavenly was thinking, where they were trying to get rid of Quad.
We know that. We saw it.
No, we're not talking about them. We talking about the powers that be. So she thought if that girl come on the show, it would give Quad a storyline. Then that only way that they could be there if Quad is still there, you know. So then
that wasn't true though. They could have been there without Quad being there. See, that's what I'm saying. Like y'all literally created a problem. It would, and that's the thing with, because there was never a problem between Sweet Tea and Quad. You know what I'm saying? The issue is with her ex-husband. That's who she divorced. She didn't have no issue with
her.
Tea.
So Sweet Tea said she came on the show to help Quad stay on the show. So she can pay her house payment.
See how that don't even make no sense? Simply y'all kicked her off that trip and subsequently off the show because we didn't see her again until the final episode. So yeah, you didn't give quite a storyline. She wasn't there for the story.
Girl, she was in there fixing them wigs.
Right.
Because she didn't come in the beginning either, did she?
I mean, it was very little. Yes. And again, their gripe always is the same with Quad. So, like, even though Quad is there now, and again, I just don't know what's wrong with people. Like, you have to know a person for their works. You know what I'm saying? Like, Quad only messing with y'all because y'all did, try to get her fired. She still don't fool with y'all. Not like that. But I guess they determined that they really don't like Sweet Tea, which is why they turned on Sweet Tea.
Girl, Jackie ain't ever forgot her calling her a bitch. Fuck you, bitch.
And Jackie, Jackie needs to speak up too. She being a little mean girlish too. Like her, it's funny I say heavily done tainted her with her little, her bad attitude.
Girl, no, Jackie always been that way.
You're probably right.
She just keeps it, because she's so professional and all, so she likes Heavenly because Heavenly say what she want to say.
I like nice nasty, like, because I like smart nasty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love it. So yeah, give it to me. Like, I need your man to be up here to even catch the shade.
Yeah, exactly.
But I like that type of, you know what I'm saying? Like, but again, what makes me say that is when you snakish about it.
Yeah.
Like when you snakish about it. Like, I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Say what you say.
What you say, exactly. So they finish off, everybody's leaving or whatever, and then we know our scene we had with Dr. Greg and Sweet Tea. And
I bet
I'm confused. Maybe he forgot that he was mic'd.
No, he didn't forgot he was mic'd. He was being him.
Yeah.
I mean, even like maybe he did. He was mic'd, but I'm just saying he was being him. You know what I mean? He was being him. The pout, the walk away, it gonna kind of go back to what I was saying. Like, all that was missing was him walking out that door and getting in that whatever. What kind of car was that? That little car?
The Mini Cooper.
Mini Cooper. Listen.
I don't know. So I was going to say, so how would you rate this episode?
I mean, I would give it about a 7. I would give it about a 7. None of the shows haven't been that great. You know what I mean? They just haven't. And this is not my type of content. I think this is, like I say, it's way too messy.
Yeah, it got dark.
If I wanted to watch stuff like this, or maybe if I wanted to watch people brawl and everything, I would figure out how to go watch Zeus. Because I feel like they do that every night. Over there. Yeah, so listen, I don't even know how to go. I guess it's just an app or something, but that's what I mean. That is like if I wanted to see people argue about whatever, no, and not to, I mean, again, I know our housewives, we talk about them, we're talking about it right now. And I love housewives. I'm an addict, an enthusiast, all of it. But after, the Real Housewives of Atlanta is going on Sweet 16, you know what I mean? Like, after 16 years, even with Married to Medicine, like, let's keep it on Married to Medicine. Like I had said before, they had did a good job of kind of carving out a space for them that was separate from Housewife Universe, right? And I mean that to say that they had some of the same formulas because it it is what it is, but they had a lot of different other elements that they brought us with the profession, with the husbands, with the couples trip, you know what I mean, those things. And so now we just kind of see them, thanks to Dr. Heavenly being producer extraordinaire over there, that nobody asked her for, and I don't think she's getting paid or credit. So, don't know why she feels the need to step in that way, but thanks to her, here we are, with this. And it's just like, yeah, I think I had always thought of them as being a classier version. Funny enough that Phaedra comes over and tries to downplay you. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, with Phaedra, she need a reality check, because at the end of the day, that was the best group of women you could have had yourself on another, television show with. As far as accolades and being in this and being able to move in the same rooms and spaces and move like you in that particular way professionally. That like they damn sure was better than them girls over there. But like they said, and I have to say this is true. Not all women, they say that they like it, but not all women like that. Some women need to be somewhere where others can be up under them, and they can be, feeling like they showing and teaching and doing or whatever. And so I feel like, especially with Phaedra returning to Housewives of Atlanta, which is what brought me back to them, is because now that group of girls are all younger. Her and Cynthia are about to be the oldest ones over there. And funny with them is that because they're single, they're the oldest ones, but they're about to be acting like them. You know what I mean? The younger ladies, let's just put it that way. And so number one, we're gonna see what Sweet 16 brings, because it's 16 years. There has to be some evolution in who we're watching and what the stories are and what's being told. And even what everything looked like. You know what I mean? Like, it does need to represent what's happening in Atlanta today, and not 16 years ago. And same with Married to Medicine. But like I said, I feel like Married to Medicine always had their own carve out. And so they really had done a good job with that. They went straight when they went and brought Dr. G and Sweet Tea back in. That's it. I know they had been shopping around to get somebody else. They could have kept shopping. They could have brought Audra back. I liked Audra.
Exactly. I like the Audra too.
But yeah, it went downhill with T and Dr. Greg. So
I wouldn't.
Everything is performing as well as they wanted it to, or maybe they thought it should. And I feel like Potomac's reunion has been better than the whole season.
Yeah.
And that's the first, you know what I mean, for any reunion show, to be quite honest. But that just goes to show you, just how dead and dud the season actually was as far as giving us anything.
Yeah.
Because everything that we do, we're discussing, outside of Mia and all her shenanigans, but everything else really has been kind of like not even stuff that's been on, you know what I mean, on the season.
Yeah. Yeah, because Giselle still mourning her dad, and that was her storyline, and becoming an empty nester.
All of a sudden, when the camera stopped rolling, now you dating some guy. And that's the complaint with Giselle. Like, more people do want to see a personal story from her. We'll see. I guess
the ones that don't want to give a personal story, they'd be the ones that always be the pot stirring. But I was watching
keep people out your business.
Yeah, I was watching the new was it the new soap opera with
Mm-hmm.
Beyond the Gates? You know, Karen. Well, girl, the daycare was running, so I couldn't really do nothing. I'm gonna go downstairs and rewatch it. But Karen got a guest appearance on there.
I saw a clip last night that she was gonna be on there. Yeah, I saw that.
I said, "Oh, look at Karen over there." But yeah.
Well, you see that they asked for about 6 months for her, honey, to serve 6 months.
Yeah, because she had 4 DUIs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not house arrest, but to do jail.
I feel like if you got 4 DUIs, it probably is time. Like,
Yeah,
and I do agree that I don't know where she is. She did not word it like it's a rehab. It seems like wherever she's at, you made sure to make it very comfortable. I don't think people learn lessons when they're comfortable.
No, they don't. They go out and do it again, but I don't. 4, doggone. But then Cherie said she was a drunk, didn't she?
Well, they've been saying it the whole time. So yeah.
Wow. 6 months. Well, maybe she. What is that? What is that, like 2 for 1? So maybe she get out in 3 months.
No, I think 6 months is 6 months, but I don't know, child.
They usually give you a day, like a day.
Like you go to like a federal or something like that. I don't know.
Well,
It's something. I think it's some type of difference about it.
With federal, you have to do 85%.
Okay.
State used to be, well, the state of Indiana used to be 50%, and they didn't went up too in their time. But usually, I thought jail time was usually.
Well, is it when you in county or when you go to the little place?
Girl.
To the actual, I don't know, child. Don't give me that.
I'm just talking about the fellas in my family.
Well, I got a couple in mine too, and I still don't know because I don't, and I don't want to know. To be quite honest, I'm okay being in the dark about it.
Look, I remember my husband got he got an OWI. I was in my 20s because before I had my son, and we were supposed to go and see Players Club this night, and he was riding with his sister's brother, and he said the boy was swerving so bad, he was like, "Pull over and let me drive." So he said, no sooner did I pull off, he said the cops pulled him over. So he called me because I'm waiting for us to go out to the movies, and he calls me, and so I had to go down there. I just went down there and got his property. Let me go get his wallet. I said, because this is on a Saturday. So I went down there, and the guy at the jail was some white man, like, like the sheriffs or whatever. And he looks at me, he said, "I know you." I said, "No, you don't." He said, "Yes, I do." I said, "No, you don't, because I ain't never been in no doggone jail." He said, "Yes, I do." He said, "Your name is Angela?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You don't know me." Turns out I hadn't seen this man since I was probably about, I don't know, 13 or so. It was my friend is mixed. It was her uncle, but he is bald at the time. I said, he said, "Yeah, I don't got no hair now," but I didn't know him. I said, "Shoot, I'm looking at the brown suit, sheriff outfit. You know,
Please, no, sir. You don't know me.
Look, that's one report that's good, because my criminal report, I ain't never been in no trouble. So yeah, but it was so funny with my husband when it happened to him. He was like, "Dang, I just pulled over, and got in so I could," because he said his sister's brother was driving so bad. He said, "Shoot, I thought we was gonna get in an accident." And long and behold, as soon as I take off, I get pulled over. I said, well. I think I must have been like 23 or 24. So my husband's probably like 26 or somewhere like that. But
well,
Miss Kern, I feel sorry for her. Time. Because isn't she in her 60s, 60 something?
Yeah,
60.
Yeah, at least she's 60 something, maybe 2, 3 somewhere up there.
Yeah, you too old to be going to jail.
I mean, but like I say, she gonna have to, and they're gonna have to send her to a real rehab. Because even though I don't even know if, like I say, they're gonna have to send her to a real one, because even as early as them taping that reunion, she still was saying she doesn't have a problem. She got her lawyers in court trying to argue about her misuse of pills. And my thing is, I don't really know what the hang up is, because I'm not I know what it is. Damn. It's funny that they came, because I'm finna say, why is she so annoyed about being maybe an alcoholic, but wants to press me maybe abusing pills? But now I know now, because of the way people view it. It's a difference in the way people view addicts that are taking, and she talking about antidepressants mixed with alcohol. But anyway, I just
so she's supposed to be on the antidepressant because of her parents.
Yeah, right. Being depressed, and yeah. And so she, it's just kind of like, girl, and they done went all the way back to what happened to her when she was in college. You have been out of college for 3 decades. For 3 decades.
Girl, shoot, 4.
To tell nobody about their trauma and how long it stick with you, where it go. I'm not saying nothing of that, but I'm just saying I am not going to have a conversation with somebody in their 60s telling me that they make decisions, that's harming their life about something that happened to them 3 decades ago. I can't be involved in that type of foolishness. Like, yeah, sorry. And I don't know, maybe that sounds harsh. I don't know. Oh, shoot. Do we have any?
When is she supposed to get
us?
No, I had nobody commented, because I asked, nobody commented, just stand in the bushes. I had my question. Huh?
I said not stand in the bushes.
Yes. But so when is she supposed to be sentenced then?
I think maybe the 28th.
Oh. Well, thoughts and prayers, honey.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers. Because when will they start filming again?
Oh, now that part I'm not sure. They probably, I don't know. And it might depend on waiting to see what happens with Karen.
You think she wants to come back?
Did I imagine this, or did I see a clip that says, is there another video of Karen that they're going to play?
The one where she looks more put together?
I feel like, and it's kind of vague or something, but I feel like for some reason it's supposed to be another message at the end, but I don't know. That's why I was like, did I make that up my own self?
Girl, I don't know, but Mia, she's back where we started, crying.
Well, she didn't coerce Gordon to get on live and to go on there and make sure he convinced everybody that he just said what he said because he was hurt and he didn't know how to take it, and it's too late, Mia. Like, but here we go again. Like, you ran out of the reunion, you didn't let this man come so he could speak for himself, but now you want to go on your live.
Yeah, I don't know. She just gives fake, and I hate her hair. Oh my God, I hate her hair with a passion. I hate it. And Wendy should have had her lace front better or something. I can see the line.
You say you can see it, huh?
Yeah, I can. I wasn't trying to see it, but I saw it. But Mia hair look a mess. I don't know what they were trying to do with that.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I was like, was that supposed to be like a French roll type, not French roll bun?
I think it was supposed to be like soft waves and maybe like a bun into a bun, like kind of giving like maybe that 60s or something type of look. But I didn't like it.
I don't like it because whoever did it didn't do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Because shoot, I'm like, because when she turns to the side,
you know, that's funny. My mom used to say stuff like that, but I wouldn't even say whoever did it didn't do a good job. It doesn't look good on Mia. Like that's not a good hairstyle for her.
But the back of it don't look right. That's what I'm talking about because I can't tell if it's a bun.
It's like that's what I'm saying. Like I believe, and it's funny. I guess I'm going into like maybe my cosmetology days. But I believe that, like, if you had long hair, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you wanted some waves, they wouldn't, like they wouldn't just go stop. So you would have to have something that you did with the rest of the hair. So yeah, it probably is a bun in the back. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of bunned up, rolled up. But the look in general, it's the fact that Mia has strong features. You know what I mean? Like so, it's not a good hairstyle for her.
No, I didn't like it at all. I'm like, what is that?
But that's what I'm saying. I necessarily wouldn't say the person who did it didn't do a good job. It just wasn't a great hairstyle for her. I don't think she should have had that. I think so.
Yeah, I didn't like the waves. I ain't like it with other girl hair either. I don't think I like too many of none of them. I didn't like Kay hair. And Jazzy's. Jazzy's got, you can tell.
I feel like I like Wendy's hair and look the most.
I liked Wendy's hair until I seen that the line going around.
The lace.
I think somebody mentioned it and it caught my eye. I said, damn. Because I think this is right. It's a very good look on her. And I don't like how those ladies got the titties so tight looking up there. I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang. I like the way Stacy's dress fit on her. Her dress don't look like they're in bondage.
Right, exactly.
Everybody else is like they're just taped up there. And I'm like, God.
Exactly. Yeah.
It looks terrible. But that's all I got, honey.
That's all I got too, child. So we done got through another review. Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Jesus, honey. I hope. The next part 3 of the reunion, I hope it don't give Stacey a bad look.
Yeah, we're gonna see, honey. We're gonna see. I was thinking, that not for nothing, but I was thinking that maybe it wasn't anything like that because the beginning of that conversation where he was like, "Oh, I had to evacuate because of the fires," So I was thinking like, like maybe, maybe that tea we got, even though Kempire, I don't know him to do too many exclusive like dropping teas like that, but I don't know him to lie either. So I don't know. He said it came from a reliable source. So I guess we're gonna find out. But I was thinking, like, I don't know, is it a possibility that whatever it is they got to say is something that's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like not even that big of a deal.
Yeah. Making us, we all like this.
Yeah.
On our fingernails, and then we get to be like, this it?
Exactly.
This wasn't explosive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us. If you're on the replay game, jump in the comments and tell us what you think about the show.
Share, and subscribe. Yes.
Yes, and subscribe.
Yes, to both channels. And I thank you for your time. And we're going to get up out of here. I got to eat. It's 10 o'clock.
All right. I'm tired.
Me too. All right, then. Thank you, guys. Have a great evening.